Should just one.
Hey everybody, this is Brad and welcome back to School Sucks Live. We got a couple segments left. If you want to give us a call, we do still have time. The number is 843-JOIN-SSP. Hey, I really hope you're watching on our live stream, schoolsucksproject.com/live. You can watch the video. You can see there's me. There's Kate Baker, who is my co-host tonight. And, yeah, you can also join our chat, which is pretty lively tonight.
People are typing?
People are typing in the chat. I would like to see a lot more people in the chat. I'd like this show to... One of the reasons why we started doing the live show was to have a more interactive experience. But we're going to jump back to the phone right now. We have Renee on the line. She is a public school teacher. Renee, you still with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so did you have any other additional thoughts about what we had been discussing tonight from, your position seeing this in the schools as a special ed teacher?
I'd love for you to just talk about No Child Left Behind a little bit and how people feel about that.
Well, I will in a second. I just want to really quick touch up on base about what Brett had said before about, I understand how the system with education is doing what it meant to do. It's the most successful program because it's creating obedient people in society, and that's what, of course, they want. They want people obeying what they say. And the school system's basically the easiest way to do it because they're, in a sense, corrupting young minds. And like they say, when you learn language, you should learn it when you're young. So when you're in a school system, they teach you, follow the rules. If you don't do that, you're going to get this consequence. And if you, so and so. I just kind of wanted to state that.
Yep, that's, no offense to anybody who's religious out there, but the state, the church, and the cigarette companies, that's how they get you. They know that when you're young,
completely agree.
That's how it's done. So you're absolutely right, and obviously a tremendous amount of research has gone into this. This isn't just the kind of thing that a person says. This isn't loose circumstantial evidence. I highly recommend people check out the work of John Taylor Gatto. If you like videos and DVDs, there's a brand new 5-disc, I think it's 4 or 5-disc DVD that is out, that's available from my friends at tragedyandhope.com. It is called A Weekend with John Taylor Gatto, The Ultimate History Lesson. And I also recommend that people check out his book, pass around his book. It's a beautiful book. It's called The Underground History of American Education. I think it should have been called The Underground History of American Schooling.
There are some schools that are okay and good.
Sure, and there's a big difference.
Like the Sudbury model, for example?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's some schools that are good.
Right, and what Kate is trying to do, and why I think this is worth pointing out, and why I like having Kate on the show, and we will probably talk more in the future, is that, everybody is different, and some people might benefit. Like, my whole ideal is unschooling. So I wish that was just best for everybody, but it might not be.
What works for you, right?
Right.
For you to be autodidactic, to teach yourself, sure.
Because unschooling is like how adults learn, but for kids. It's like treating kids like adults, if you can imagine such a thing.
I think respect is a big part of it, though. The quality of an education that one might get.
Yeah. And I also think that some people might benefit from a more structured environment, from having mentors, from having teachers, depending on what their goals are.
I did enjoy some college classes that I took.
Yeah. But even when kids are very young, like the Sudbury model of school, I'm not crazy about, its democratic thing. But other than that, yeah.
You might want to take a pottery class or a class on math if you're interested in physics. You might want to take science and math together.
Well, what age are you talking about?
It doesn't matter. I don't care what age.
Right, but I'm talking mostly for school-age children. You know what I mean?
Okay, between 6 and 18, or sure. They might take a physics class.
Yeah,
and it might be interesting for them.
Sure, yeah. I think having these.
I had a homeschooler daughter that watched the Nova special on string theory and took notes and thought that was very fascinating.
Well, there's.
I think education should be more individualized than anything. Ultimately, you don't want to waste kids' time.
Agreed.
If they already know something, then, that's the thing with public education, like, they're so focused on, well, this is not on the test, so we're not going to teach that, or we'll teach science and social studies after standardized testing because, well, they're not getting tested, and they're only getting tested on math and reading.
Oh, man.
And that's frustrating because, no offense, there's a lot of kids that love science and doing those hand-on experiences, and that's not fair to them because, they're still in this, like, needing an education too. So that's where I'm kind of like, this testing is stupid because then, like, I teach special education, so I have kids that are in 7th grade, but they read at 2nd grade level, but they have to take a 7th grade standardized test at the end of the year, but they can't read that crap. Like, it's not fair to them. Like, that's where the thing comes in, is it's not about the kids anymore. It's about the money that the school's going to get based on the test scores that they receive.
Oh yeah, at the top level, I stand firmly by all of these things that I'm saying, and like, people throw a word around like conspiracy, like that automatically discredits some kind of an assertion. 2 or more people planning behind closed doors is a conspiracy.
Fine.
So, like the idea that people have decided in the Department of Labor, at the Federal Department of Education, in the Rockefeller Board of Education, in the halls of academia, how education, quote unquote, which is really schooling, should be disseminated in this country. Yeah, fine. That's a conspiracy. Okay. But, on the service provider level, once you get out of academia, once you get out of the central planning places, the Department of Education, the Department of Labor, you get down to past the state school board and into districts and into schools. On the service provider level, it gets very bureaucratic, where it's all just about paperwork. Like from my experience in working in places like this, like, the highest ideal was to like do all the paperwork.
Like homework?
Yeah.
Are you talking about for the kids?
No. I'm talking about...
You're talking about for the adults.
The bureaucracy. It's all just paperwork. And I used to do No Child Left Behind tutoring years ago. It was one of the most soul-sucking things I ever took part in for myself and for those poor children who just like, oh, you're not good at something. Well, let's get you really excited about it while you're 8. We'll keep you after school, and then we'll do it for another hour, and then you'll love it.
That's
That's just like we get you excited about gym by making you change in front of other kids and climb ropes. I know I'm going back to my own school days, but the point I'm trying to make is that once you get down to the service provider level, everything is very bureaucratic anyway, and most of the people, this is what I was saying to Kate before the show, most of the people who work on that level, like the fact that you understand this stuff, Renee, and you put forward an idea, like something as radical as like, wow, kids' time actually matters too. Like, you are really in the minority as far as what you do. You would agree, right?
Yeah. Well, they're starting this new program now, starting with like if you're in by 3rd grade at where I work at, they're starting this new thing that if you don't get approaches on the standardized tests that they give every year in April or March, or where it depends on where you're at, then you will be held back a year because you did not get that. And they think that being held back a year is going to help you.
That's always sign. I mean, every study they've ever done on that shows that holding kids back, it has only a negative effect on them.
Why would they hold?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What would be the rationale?
Exactly.
Renee, can you just repeat that? What would be the rationale for holding the kid back?
There is no rationale. They think, not me, but they think that it will be beneficial to them because they'll get another year of that curriculum in their system, essentially, whatever.
If
but
they don't do well enough.
No, it's not about it's not what you teach, it's how you teach it to them. Like, if you're not teaching to the child, if you're not, like, because there's children that are very visual, there's children that are very, auditory. If you're not teaching to that child's needs, it doesn't matter how many times you teach it. And that's what they don't get. And so there's this whole system they're starting now that if they don't,
she teaches
in 3rd grade, if they don't pass this test, if they don't get approaches on the standard test in April when they give it, then they will be held back a year. Except if there's special ed. If there's special ed, the parents can decide.
Renee, hold on right there. We'll bring you back for the last segment.
Okay.
This is School Sucks Live. We will be right back.